Recently, Ubisoft held a showcase in which they announced a whole lot of fantastic news about the future of the Assassin's Creed franchise. A future which seems to finally be catering to every single section of the fanbase. Instead of making individual games that try to cater to every part of the fractured player base of the series, it seems the franchise will diverge into a whole new structure that will not only benefit the series, but could honestly be the innovative push the gaming industry needs to restructure its business practices and produce the type of games so many of us love and miss. So today, I thought I'd go through everything the series seems to be including moving forward, so that you don't miss any vital drops of information about this series we all once loved so much. It seems only right that we begin with the biggest reveal of this event, Assassin's Creed Mirage, a game I initially made a video on after its leak, and a game that honestly my mind has been changed on. However, ladies and gentlemen, before I can let you all know about that, I first need to inform you about the sponsor of this video. Raid Shadow Legends, the mobile RPG that has taken the world by storm. And if you're looking for an RPG to absolutely master the mechanics of, then Raid Shadow Legends is that game. Especially with my favorite part of Raid, the Doom Tower. The giant prison structure that the Arbiter built thousands of years ago to prevent the Serath from leaking out. But now this blockade, built to keep evil from the world, is failing. And so you have to stand by the Arbiter and climb the Doom Tower, knocking off as many heads as you do so in order to prevent the Serath from leaking out into the world again. But you're not going to be able to do it alone. You're going to need an army of champions. And with over 100 to choose from, you won't be at a loss when you get to the higher floors and face more specialist bosses. With a constantly updating stream of content, you can never get bored. I mean, just this month alone, Raid's released a giant new feature, Awakening, and a new dungeon, the Iron Twins Fortress. Test your strength against the Iron Twins, and if you beat them, you can awaken your champions, meaning you can transform how they perform in battle, adding a whole new dimension of variety to every single champion in the game. On top of that, Raid has just released a massive new addition, a legendary version of everyone's favorite champion, Death Knight. All you need to do is log into Raid Shadow Legends and play for 7 days between right now and October 27th. And with that, you'll add Ultimate Death Knight to your collection. Raid Shadow Legends is the fresh new experience that so many of us have been looking for years. And if you haven't started playing yet, now is the time, because you can use the DK Rises promo code for a bunch of free items to instantly level your strongest champion all the way to level 50. Meaning despite being a new player, it will only be a matter of time before you can compete against Raid's greatest challenges. If you haven't started playing yet, make sure to click my link in the description or scan my QR code on the screen right now for some incredible unique bonuses, including a free epic champion, 200,000 silver, 1 energy refill and 1 XP boost, along with an ancient shard. So you can summon some incredible champions as soon as you get in the game. Again, if you click the link in my description or scan the QR code, you'll get these unique bonuses that are worth up to $30 in game, all of which will be waiting for you right here in your homepage. But make sure to act fast, because these rewards will only be available for the next 30 days for new players. Again, just click the link in the description or scan the QR code, and I hope I'll see you in the game. Thank you again so much to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. This game, at least according to Ubisoft, is a true, genuine return to the roots of the franchise, inspired by developers who wanted to pay homage to the series with the upcoming 15-year anniversary. In other words, this seems to be a spiritual remake of Assassin's Creed 1, which will attempt to incorporate the best features of the franchise into a condensed, linear, narrative-driven experience, in which we'll follow Basim, the antagonist of AC Valhalla, as he goes from street thief to master assassin in 9th century Baghdad, with the help of Hidden One's mentor, Roshan. The game is said to be split between 2 maps, Baghdad, which is said to be the size of AC Unity's Paris, as well as Alamut, the training grounds of the Hidden Ones and the place in which the Hidden Ones become the assassins. The overall inspiration of the game comes from the first 4 entries into the series, but the parkour and stealth is said to incorporate elements of Unity, and the combat will be a combination of that of Origins, Odyssey and Valhalla, which makes sense as that's perhaps the most praised aspect of those respective games. The game is also said to bring back both black box assassinations from Unity and Syndicate, as well as the burrow system from AC1, bringing back investigations and notoriety. Mirage will release in early 2023, and although it'll pale in size to the previous 3 games, I've honestly been convinced that it will stand as the closest game to the original series identity since Unity, perhaps even since Revelations. But that's far from everything, because we also got reveals for 3 more AC titles to follow, all focused on separate elements of the series, all directed to specific sects of the fanbase. First and foremost, we have Assassin's Creed Codename Jade, a mobile title which will take us back to before the creation of the Assassin Brotherhood in 3rd century BCE China, in which the the player will be able to create a protagonist in a scaled back open world. Gameplay wise, it seems as if Jade will be built to play similarly to the mainline titles, albeit utilizing touchscreen controls, allowing for an experience which I imagine will be similar to Assassin's Creed Liberation. Of course, the game takes place before the creation of the Brotherhood, which to some people may be frustrating, but to me is a guarantee that this mobile entry won't involve any essential lore or story beats, and will simply be a more mainstream title to bring in a casual audience. Although we've not had an official release date, we've already seen an in-engine trailer, and so Ubisoft's pledge of Jade coming soon has me thinking it will release in the months after Mirage, but before their next project, Assassin's Creed Red. For years now, fans of AC have begged for a series entry set in feudal Japan, and now we're going to see the iconic period explored within the confines of the post-2017 series identity. In other words, the next major RPG title in the series will be Red, carrying over aspects such as leveling, crafting, and open mission design from Valhalla, Odyssey, and Origins. If anything, Red seems to be the next flagship entry into the series, the progression of where Ubisoft want to take the series, with Mirage being a pit stop in between to feed older fans. It also seems that the Assassin Order will once again take a back seat in Red, as Ubisoft have already taken to promoting it with the Shinobi fantasy, reminiscent of the Misthios and Viking fantasies promised in both Odyssey and Valhalla. And although to a purist fan such as myself this is mildly disappointing, it makes complete sense from a business perspective to capitalize on those players that value the historical aspects of the series more than the assassin aspects, especially with the recent success of Ghost of Tsushima. However, it doesn't seem that Codename Red will be getting a release date until at least 2025, and if I were to predict, it seems that this will be Ubisoft's major holiday season release of that year. And last, but certainly not least, we have Assassin's Creed Codename Hexe, perhaps the most unique and interesting new addition to the franchise. With a cryptic teaser trailer, it seems Hexe will take the series into the waters of the horror game genre, at least to an extent, exploring the supernatural, magical, and sci-fi elements of the series in depth, which I imagine will utilize the Isu in a fascinating new way, as is the record of the creative lead of the game, Darby McDevitt. Considering the German origin of the title, it seems Hexe could take place in Middle-Age Europe, exploring witches, paganism, and mysterious occult fables, something that Valhalla scratched the surface of with its Wrath of the Druids DLC. Although making supernatural elements a central focus of a mainline entry isn't to my liking, an entire game dedicated to the concept could be a fascinating new direction for the series that is able to truly commit to its ideas. And that's perhaps the most important thing about these new concepts. By splitting up the series into multiple divergent titles, it actually plays into the fractured nature of the franchise. It takes all of the individual elements that have been built up over the last 15 years and allows each to have the same time and effort to be explored in depth, as opposed to cramming every possible element into a single 100-hour bloated mess of a shallow title such as Valhalla. Although I'm not on board for everything, although Mirage is far and away the title most made for me, I think this new direction for the franchise will allow for this series to begin having the same influence on the industry that it had a decade ago, and it'll allow the creatives behind these projects innovate and to create without restriction, which I think we should all be excited for. But that is just my opinion, and I want to know yours in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Which of these games are you most excited for? Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit like, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe with post notifications turned on. Thanks again so much to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check them out, click my link in the description. And with all that being said, I've been Joe, aka Found a Scarab, and I will see you in the next one.